Now then, how are you doing? I hope you're well. You know, art isn't always about beauty. Or maybe I should say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Industrial landscapes are perhaps not the first thing you'd think of when contemplating the beauty of the world around us. But if you've ever driven past a power station at sunset, well then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Steelworks and power stations, giant dockyard cranes and power lines, those behemoths of engineering prowess, essentially ugly as they are, can look strangely alluring in the right light, particularly when they're partially obscured by clouds of smoke and steam. It's time then to get industrial. I'm going to start with a loose wet in wet wash, consisting of cadmium yellow, alizarin crimson and French ultramarine. I often see industrial buildings such as power stations on my travels, lit by the last light of the setting sun and partially hidden by the steam and smoke they themselves produce. I'm usually driving, and the vision is often only fleeting, but it can be a powerful moment. It's that moment that I'm hoping to try and recreate here. It's a wet in wet wash, so I need to work quickly to prevent it drying out and creating hard lines or backruns. I'm also working with my board set at an angle of about 20 to 30 degrees. That way I know which way the paint's going to flow, and gravity can do some of the work for me. Once I'm happy with the wet in wet wash and satisfied that the light seems to be coming in from the left, I'm lifting out smoke and steam with a scrunched up piece of tissue paper. The technical term for this is stopping out, something I used to do as a teenager, and it's worth noting that altering the amount of pressure you use can produce a variety of different results. A heavy pressure lifts most of the paint out and produces a very solid looking highlight, while a gentle pressure, barely tickling the paper, can produce a lighter, wispier, much softer result. All of this steam and smoke and no chimneys. Well, I'm mixing up French ultramarine, burnt umber and a hint of alizarin crimson to add the buildings. Needless to say, when I lifted out some of the smoke in such a way as to suggest it's being belched out of tall chimneys, even though at that point I hadn't actually painted the chimneys, it was with the knowledge that they would be added very soon. In other words, a little bit of forward planning and vision is helpful in this regard. In order to maintain the smoky, steamy atmosphere, it's necessary to constantly soften off the edges with a damp brush and lightly dab at them with a tissue. Constant monitoring is required if daft errors are to be avoided. Think about the scene as it develops. Continuity is important, for instance. If a tall chimney disappears into the clouds of smoke and reappears a little higher up, then it's important for us to believe that they are the two parts of the same chimney. So here's the thing. I'm not an engineer and wouldn't know my electrostatic precipitator from my desulfurization plant. I'm making it up as I go along. My industrial components almost certainly don't make any kind of sense whatsoever, and whatever it is that my steamy, smoky factory is producing, other than large amounts of smoke and steam of course, I'm sure a health and safety inspector would be right along to shut it down. The main thing is to have a little bit of fun with it. Gradually increasing the intensity of the French ultramarine, burnt umber and alizarin crimson mix helps to vary the perceived distance of the buildings. Essentially, placing them on different layers and using aerial perspective to create the illusion of space and depth. By heck, it's grim up north. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little trip into the industrial wastelands of my imagination, and that it's inspired you to perhaps have a go at creating something similar of your own. Until the next time, take care.